I just want to show you guys how easy it is for me to identify bottle caps. Watch this. Watch, single frequency. Alright, now over here, I started swinging. Where is it? Check this out. Multi-frequency. Now watch, single. Total crap. Went up to the 90s. Don't even have to dig it. Ooh, got a great one here. Multi-frequency. High conductor program. Solid 50-52, right? Turn 90, same thing. Now, it's just banging in my ears here. Single frequency. Boom, look at that. 89, 88, 90, 89, 88, 90. Look at that, boom. Bottle cap, just what I would never dig those signals, ever. If I were just doing that on my own and I saw that kind of discrepancy, it's too big. 90 to 50s? Not happening. Single, and maybe if single was like in the 70s and multi was in the 90s, or if multi was in the 70s and single went up into like the 80s or something, yeah, I might dig that. But this, no way. It's too big of a gap in numbers. And of course, I proved it because it's a piece of trash. Great example of some probably foil again. Beautiful little consistent 28-29 signal in high conductor multi-frequency mode. I mean, sounds fantastic, right? Switch to single frequency. Look at the number discrepancy. It goes up and it jumps all over the place. It's consistent. It has a little flutter at the end of it, right? It's not as clean as the multi-frequency tone, but look, it's going all the way up into the 50s and back to the 30s, 40s. If I turn on it, 25, 60, 40. So that kind of inconsistency in numbers tells you that it's probably an irregular metal. You get gold, and I know you guys are going to say gold is mixed metals, but something about a solid gold ring just has a way cleaner numbers than tinfoil usually does. Obviously foil every now and then fools you. Let's go ahead and dig this, see what it is. So happy with that. How many detectors say that? Look at that. Beautiful little piece of foil. So that's exactly what I'm talking about. Now, what I like about the Deus II is that the foil numbers come in way lower than the gold. Like if you watch Metal Detecting NYC, he did a huge, fantastic test on like every kind of piece of gold you can imagine. And I mean, he barely had any gold come down into the 30s, which also gives me a clue that this was a piece of crap. But he did have a few. Every now and again they get a teeny engagement ring, maybe diamond on there. It might come in that range, but I doubt it. Most of his rings came in higher than the 30s. Also, the discrepancy between changing between multi and single frequency, if they agree with each other and they're both solid, oh boy, you better dig like a trained monkey. But if they differ, and if one of them starts bouncing a lot, get suspicious. It's probably trash. All right, this is a really good example of that. Okay, Okay, we got an interesting target here. 65, 64, multi-frequency. Switch to single. See how it's closer in target ID? Over there I found another bottle cap, went from 60 all the way up to 90. I didn't even dig it. I knew it was a bottle cap. This, 60 to 70, that's a small enough space discrepancy that I'm going to dig this, and I can bet that it's non-ferrous and it's probably not tinfoil. Let's check it out. All right, and here we go. We got ourselves a little piece of jewelry. Right in the grass too, right in the plug. I started digging, I was like, I better check my plug, and lo and behold, old piece of junk jewelry. Well, it's actually copper, so it's not exactly junk, but may have been part of an earring or something. That was cool. So you see how close single and multi were and more consistent? And that signal was just beautiful sounding, very consistent on something that was not junk, right? So, all right, let's go on for the next. Here's a good example here. If I go this way, it sounds beautiful. If I go over here, got iron. If I turn 90, it just disappears. I mean, it's okay. 95, 97, we're in single frequency now. Gets better here. I'm definitely going to dig this, but strange signal. Let's go ahead and dig it. It's probably a nail, but getting my exercise in. No freaking way. Wheat scent. And that sucker was deep. Let me get this. There's more in the hole, but man, I can't even tell you how many times I've been over this same stretch with so many detectors. That's why I'm doing this test on this stretch, because it's covered in nails. It's really like a proving ground for a detector. And I mean, I have pummeled every single angle, direction I can possibly think of. So to pull a wheat scent out of here even is mind-boggling. Let's see if we can get a date off that. 1941, I think. I'll get that for you in a little bit. All right, wow, I'm thrilled with that. Let's get on to the next one. Real quick, guys, just found this right in the bottom of the hole. Square nail. Center of the hole. Wheat penny was over here. Nail was there. They were literally an inch apart from each other. It doesn't get better than that. That's why I was cautious about it. But I was still getting that consistent signal with both single and multi-frequency. So it just goes to show, heavy nails, you gotta dig it. Swung over the hole again, got 90s with a little like iron signature at the end of it. Look at that. Even bigger on this side of the hole. Crazy. This one just kind of sounds like it's coming through the iron. Nice and consistent. If I go to single frequency, choppy, very choppy. It's like it wants to get it, but it's trying to come through, but it can't, so it's scratchier. Whereas in multi-frequency, high conductor, if I go around it, no big iron signals, so that's a little scary that it's that isolated. And if I turn, I get like this signal that's like begins with a little bit of iron and then goes to a good tone. A little choppy. We're gonna dig it, see what it is. Okay, you guys see that in the bottom of the hole? Look at that. Wheat penny number 2, I can't believe it. 1944, I think. Crazy. Let's just check the hole real quick. Oh! Let's see if we can live dig this. I bet you anything that's iron. Bet you anything. Way over there in the corner. Oh, I heard the, you know, that classic iron scratch. Whoa, look at that. I don't know what that is. Something, it's definitely iron, but it's circular. I don't know. Maybe it was some kind of pin? Let's see. I'll rescan the hole for you guys. But yeah, wow, crazy. This is an amazing hunt. All right, and I'm not even doing this for the hunt. I'm doing this specifically as a instructional and experimental video, not as like a, oh, I'm finding coins video. Okay guys, so just want to go over the issue that I finally discovered that I've been trying to wrap my mind around, the problem with the Deus II, and it's not a problem that can't be solved. I'm going to show you how to solve it in a second. So I was trying to figure out, why is it that I can figure out there's a nail in the ground with the Equinox but not with the Deus II? What was it that was going on? And I realized that all of the programs and all the programs that I'm pretty sure just about everybody online is saying to use. Let me show you here. Let me get up nice and close for you. So we're in my custom program here. We're going to go to discrimination. So most people will tell you to set your discrimination at 7. We all know that discrimination is going to cause a loss of depth, but honestly, sorry, we've got a cat fight going on over here. We all know that discrimination is going to cause a loss of depth, but in our 12-inch silver dime test in my other video, that didn't happen. So I was all happy about that, and I went off hunting and trying to do my trash, you know, how to discern trash versus treasure video, which I'm doing now. But I kept running into nail after nail after nail, digging, you know, tons of nails, big, small, everything, so, you know, so I was confused. So what I did was I realized that the knocks, right, the discrimination is different on the knocks. Nayla, stop it. So let's go to expert from discrimination. We're in tones. We're gonna hit expert again. Okay, so here's a situation where you can adjust where your notch lines are, right? So where one tone ends and where the other begins. We're not gonna mess with that. That's not important right now. What's important is this 7 number. The problem here is that most iron is ringing up higher than a 0, right? Whereas on the Equinox, it doesn't do that. Iron on the Equinox behaves differently, which is fine. It doesn't make the machine better or worse, it just behaves differently. We have to understand the machine, what it's doing. That means if you discriminate out your iron, you know, here, you're not going to hear it. And if you watch my other videos, the most absolute important part about being able to discern iron from a silver dime false is to be able to hear it interrupting the good signal. If you don't hear it at all and you're getting a good signal, all you're hearing is the false. But if you don't discriminate it out, you're going to hear the iron tones coming through more and more, right? The signal eroding, which is going to alert you that that is not a dime. That's just a total false signal that's eroding into iron tones, right? That is what I wasn't hearing throughout the whole video. So let me show you how to fix that. So I believe by hitting this up button here, I can either go to the tone break, which I don't want. Remember, we adjust where I want my tone break at. I just want to be here. Below this, you can see it says 270 hertz, right? That's the frequency of the sound. That's too high. Let me just let you listen to that while I sweep the nail over it. Right? That could sound like a gold ring or something. Now, let me show you how to fix this. All I'm going to do is hit my minus button. And you can see that little number is going down, down, and I'm just going to keep holding it, and the lowest it goes is 100 hertz. So, I'm going to see if I can keep the camera here. And actually what I'm going to do is, I'm going to X out of this now, so you can see the target ID tones. And you can see the nail is actually ringing higher than 0. Right? Goes up to 4. Some nails go even higher than that. It's really important that you understand how high your iron goes. There's a 5 right there. Okay, do you hear the dog drinking water? Okay, I'm sorry, I live with a lot of animals. But what you're hearing now is just that low iron grunt, right? That's what we want to hear. That's what we need to hear in our ears. It's so important to be able to hear that. And that's what I hear on the Knox, which allows me to almost dig 0 iron. So now going back in and out into the field, I'll be able to hear the iron interrupting the signal, right? Whereas in the video, you're not able to hear that. It's just, I was completely lost. I was digging nail after nail after nail. I did get a couple good signals, but after a lot of physical expenditure, energy expenditure. So again, listen. And actually, if we want to hear that better, I believe we can turn up our iron volume to 5. And there you go. Right, you're not going to dig that, and it's going to keep alerting you. Yeah, that's a bad signal. So that's my fix for essentially being able to better discern whether the signal is consistent or not. Because if you have that iron discriminated out from 0 to 7, all you're going to hear is a good consistent tone. You'd be like, oh, well, you know, so-and-so told me to only dig consistent tones. Well, the problem is yeah, you're hearing a consistent tone, but it's like having a blindfold on, right? You've dumbed your senses. Take the blindfold off and, oh, there's another tone there. It's the iron tone coming through, telling you, yeah, that's a big old piece of iron that's not actually consistent. You're fooling yourself by discriminating the iron out. Right, so you need to hear that iron. So yeah, enjoy, and we'll keep putting out some videos and see how this works. Okay, so this is a great example of what we're dealing with here in terms of iron. See that constant 86? And the signal has this slight, like on the Equinox it sort of squawks, but on this one it almost sounds like it's echoey and kind of fades off. And it gives me a constant 86, right? That's every nail I've dug so far gives me that number. Now look, I turn. Look at it break up. See that 9, 8. There's something right there that's non-ferrous. Right? But this, if I pivot, see how that sounds real good? But see, now I'm getting a... There. It's starting to break up. You gotta go all the way around it and keep... There. That's the nail. And it's drifted too. It actually moved a little bit. Much harder to tell with this machine than on the Knox. But so far, again, I've got less experience on this machine. But I can see the drifting. Now that I've taken the discrimination down, I can easily see that that it's iron because it's reporting those 6s, 5s, right? 8. I'm getting a... I would even take my discrimination I don't know if I would take it all the way down or what I would do here. Let's do an experiment, because I think I actually need to take the discrimination all the way down to 0, to be honest. Remember what I did? I've taken the pitch down to an iron pitch. Let's try this. Now it's giving me iron numbers, but I'm not getting the iron tone for some reason. But here, expert, I've got the first tone. Ah, that's why. Okay. Because the first tone is now at 0. So it only represents 1 through 0, I think. So if I go back, I need to bump that back up. In fact, I'm going to bring it up to 10. Whoa, not that high. Okay. And then let's see. Back to discrimination expert. Let's see what that does in tones. See, now that's a 10. Okay. So that's all tones from 1 through 10 target ID are going to be 100 hertz, which is the iron tone. That's what we're trying to do here. Okay. Now let's go ahead and see what I'm doing here. Ah. Listen to that. That did it. That's the key. That is the key. That was the key. I might even bump that up even higher and keep it at 100 hertz. But so I've got discrimination at 10, and you go into expert, get that hertz, that pitch frequency down to 100 for tones 1 through 10. All right, so now let's go over to our 12-inch deep quarter that's been buried for over a year. And you'll see immediately. I gotta find it real quick, sorry guys. Now that may be faint, but notice there's no intermittent iron tones whatsoever. And there's actually a piece of iron here. When I turn 90, you're gonna see. Hear how faint that is though? Now watch. 90. See, now I hear the iron. Look at it, zeros. So that's why you gotta turn 90 on your target. Because if I can squeak that out after turning 90 on an iron target, yeah, I'm probably gonna be pretty suspicious. I'm gonna go back to 90 this way. And look, if I make it tighter, I can actually get past the iron. That's the key. The problem was that the first time I turned 90, my sweep, my exploratory sweep was too wide. So guys, if you're hunting in the iron, don't turn on your suspicious target and do some like, right? You got to go use this thing like a scalpel. I'm surprised. You see what the iron is doing though? So the iron is making my numbers go lower. But if you notice, before I said 86s are always gonna be nails, but that's a constant 86. This target is jumping back up into the 90s. That's what makes me suspicious. 89, 90, 87. So it's acting very different than a nail would. It's consistent, even though I'm getting some intermittent iron tones, and it's not giving me just one solid number, which would make me suspicious, especially since I know this is a 12-inch deep quarter, right? Silver quarter. All right, so that's about it. That's what I wanted to show you guys. This is what's so important, is getting that discrimination set at 100 hertz frequency and circling your target. Keep your sweep really, really tight in iron, so you can actually distinguish the trash from treasure.